Lesson 1, what is print on demand? So, with POD, you create the design, choose which items to put it on, then put it on sale. When a customer buys your product, you don't have to physically make it. The order goes directly to the manufacturer or printer and is shipped from there to the customer. Now, this frees up your time to run your own business and also create more designs and market them, and also saves you having to hold stock, buy, run and maintain expensive machinery and employ any extra staff. Furthermore, the order is fulfilled in or close to the customer's own country, saving air miles, expense and time. POD also enables you to add designs to multiple products all at the same time. It opens up a whole world of possibilities, including canvas prints, mugs, accessories, phone cases, and so much more, in addition to a huge variety of garments. You will be able to purchase items as you acquire them and use them for promotions, giveaways, and competitions. If you decide to make your collections available to the public, you will earn royalties from the sales you achieve. The purpose of this video course is to enable you to create your own merchandise range. There are, at the time of writing this, approximately 50 print-on-demand platforms available worldwide, with new ones popping up all the time. Now, some specialise in different products, such as footwear, homeware, or jewellery. For the purposes of this course, I recommend RedBubble. It has a huge range, a massive variety of products, which you can place your designs on, and it sells internationally, should you choose to make your range available for general sale. Now, we're going to look at this later in more depth. Meanwhile, on to the next lesson. Lesson 2, designing and resizing images for POD. So your images and text will need to be suitable for loading onto the print-on-demand platform. Images must be high resolution. And if you are using your existing logo and brand imagery, I would recommend using the highest resolution that you have available. You can upload to RedBubble using JPEG, PNG or GIF files with a minimum of 1000 pixels, but I recommend using 4999 by 4999 at least. PNG files with a transparent background will allow you to choose the background colour on the majority of the available products, giving you the option to use one image with several different backgrounds if you wish. Any images you upload with a solid background will have that ugly square or rectangular background, and it'll appear on the products too. If there is even a slight chance that you might decide to grow your print-on-demand presence by uploading onto multiple platforms, if you really get to enjoy it in the future, make your images 4500 by 5400 pixels. You're then going to be able to load your designs directly onto most platforms without needing to resize them, including Amazon Merch on Demand. Now, I use and recommend Canva to create, modify and resize designs. Other examples of design software are Photoshop, Photopea or Affinity Designer. Now, there is a free option on Canva, or you can select Canva Pro. You can sign up for a 30-day free trial, then after that it's roughly £10 a month at the time of writing this, and you can alternatively save yourself a bit of money by paying annually. So if you opt for the free Canva service, you are going to need to use a separate provider to make your image backgrounds transparent. You can do this for free using something like www.remove.bg or photopea.com. With Canva Pro, you can save the image with a transparent background at the same time as saving the file. So, to create a design on Canva that's suitable for print on demand, go into Canva and click Create a Design on the top right-hand side. Scroll down to plus custom dimensions, type in 4999 by 4999 or the rectangular alternative. If you've already got a logo or image that you wish to upload, click Uploads on the left-hand side, then Upload Media, Device, then choose your image from your files. You will see that your image has a turquoise line around it. Use this to enlarge it to fill the workspace, but make sure it remains contained within that square or rectangle. If you are creating a completely new design, use the Elements, Photos and Text options from the menu on the left-hand side. It's really important to note, however, that Canva is a design tool for creators, and thus you are expected to use the various elements and components to produce your own original work and not simply use any of them in isolation without modifying them. You can check out Canva's usage policies and licensing agreements on the Canva website itself, and there's a link in the downloadable notes. So try to fill as much of the square space as you can. You can always reduce the size later on, but often you can't make it bigger without compromising the quality of the image. Move the image to ensure it's in the right position. You can click on position in the top right hand bar, and if it's in the middle, a pink line will appear in the center. Do it vertically and horizontally if that suits your image or text. When you're happy with your design, click on share or the arrow with a line under on some versions of Canva in the top right hand corner. Save it as a PNG, and if you've got Canva Pro, tick that box for a transparent background. If you are using the free version of Canva, you will need to run the saved image through remove.bg or Photoshop, Photopea or whatever. But otherwise, click download and you're ready to go. Now, if you are planning to include mugs in your merchandise collection, there's another step that I really recommend you take. So click Continue Editing after saving your design. Select Resize in the top left-hand side on the banner, and then Custom Dimensions, and type in 2700 by 1120 pixels. Click Copy and Resize. Move your design to the left side or the right if you prefer of the rectangular workspace, and then click on the duplicate icon on the top right hand side. It looks like two pages with a plus on the top one, and it's next to the bin icon. Move the duplicate or image over to the other side, or you could put a different design if you prefer, and then save this image to. You might want to add mug into the title so you know which one it is, and remember to save as a PNG with a transparent background if possible. Now you're going to be able to use this separate design to create a mug with the image on both sides instead of in the middle opposite the handle. On the RedBubble platform, there are individual templates for every single product, but 4999 by 4999 or 4500 by 5400 works for all items pretty much, except for the mugs, and save you a huge amount of time. So a few further notes. Greetings cards with any background other than white will be printed with the design in a central square block or rectangular if you're using the 4999 or 54 different sizes. So I recommend making the background on these white. We're going to discuss this later on in the course. You can also use Canva to remove a background on an existing design. So upload the design and then click on Edit Image in the top bar and use the Background Remover tool. It does take a little while to process, and your design is ready to apply to the products. Off we go. So today we're going to be looking at trademarks and copyright. So I can't stress enough how important it is to use only original designs that you own, have made, or have the rights for. Each country in the world has their own trademark checking system. So while an image or phrase might be perfectly fine to be freely used in one country, it might be owned by someone for use in another. Sites like Trademarkia offer a free search tool. I'll put the link in the downloadable notes. And the US trademark site is Tess. Again, I'll pop the link in the notes. So if you opt on Tess for the basic wordmark search, you'll be able to type something in. Now in the UK government has the Intellectual Property Office. Again, I'll share the link. Generally, common sense will tell you that you shouldn't use trademarked images and slogans such as the really obvious ones, Disney, Coca-Cola, etc. It simply is not worth it. If you load it onto RedBubble or any other platform for that matter, it will be removed and your account is likely to be deleted. Copyright works differently to trademarks. As soon as you produce a design, it is basically copyrighted to you. If you discover that other people are copying your designs, you can contact the provider, so RedBubble for example, or wherever your products are listed, and ask them to remove theirs. Any images or fonts that you use, including purchased ones, from sites such as Canva, Creative Fabrica, Vexels, Free SVG, Design Bundles, and all the rest, must have a commercial license. Check the specific license notes for each site to ensure you have the rights to use them. Usually, the rules regarding print on demand are that you can use the image in your designs, but need to modify them in some way. You will probably want to do that anyway, so that you're creating images that are your own and less likely to be copied too. So all print-on-demand providers take intellectual property IP very seriously. However, occasionally you'll notice other artists who are clearly flouting the rules, and don't be tempted to copy them and do the same. They will ultimately be removed, and if you do the same, your account would be deleted. So keywords. Using relevant keywords is vital if you are setting your store as open to the public and want your products to be found in online searches. So, what are keywords? Anyway, keywords are the words that customers type into the search bar when they are looking for something to buy. The search engine, marketplace, or store will then offer the customer suggestions of items that meet the customer's criteria based on those words that they've just typed in. Now, as sellers, we want to find the keywords that are searched for so that our potential customers can find our products. Well, that sounds easy enough, right? Yeah, well, the problem is that obvious keywords will be used by so many other sellers that our products will be way down the list, and be unlikely to feature on page 1. Think about the searches you do when looking for something. Realistically, how often do you look further than page 1? Maybe page 2? Whilst it's tempting to use the words that we ourselves would use when searching for a particular product, consider how many times those predictable words will have been used, which will mean your listing will be hidden behind all the others. To give our products a better chance of being found, we need to find low competition keywords that are making sales. Fortunately, there are a variety of tools out there to help us find them. Now, some of these are free, some have a small fee, and some are incredibly expensive. So be wary. Most of the pricier keyword tools, however, do offer a free trial period, so do consider signing up for the free trial and then remember to cancel before your first subscription. This is particularly useful if you are only going to be uploading for a set number of designs, or if all your designs are based around a particular theme or niche. You can build up your own spreadsheet of relevant keywords ready to use when required. I've used moz.com, which gives you 5,000 searches even in that free trial period. I spent a couple of days building up a list of keywords so that I can now use them regularly. Play around with different words and phrases. Phrases are known as long tail keywords and can be really specific to narrow it right down. Often removing or adding a simple S on the end can make all the difference. When you find one keyword, copy and paste it into the search bar of the keyword tool to discover other related words and phrases. Now, there are a huge selection. I've popped some in the downloadable notes, some free, some monthly subscription keyword tools. They're all straightforward to use and they've all got a help or support desk to assist you. Examples: Keyword Explorer, Answer the Public, and many, many more. Now, there are some that I have used and many that I haven't. So please don't take my list and think that I recommend them all, because I haven't seen them all and used them all. But ones that I particularly like and particularly recommend and hear very good comments about and excellent reviews: keywordtool.io, RFs, Keyword Explorer, Answer the Public, Flying Research, Helium 10, and Keywords Everywhere. Have a good look through, find the one that suits you, have a play around with it. But do remember, don't get too bogged down with this. Get your products on there, get your designs on there, get up and running as quickly as you can and start getting more and more designs on, because your presence is the best way of starting to really eat into these search engines. Before you head to RedBubble, so use Canva or your preferred design software to create your avatar and cover images for your RedBubble store. Now, use custom dimensions to create a square 300 by 300 pixels and then upload and drag your logo or photo. Save this as your RedBubble avatar in JPEG or PNG. Then use custom dimensions again to create a rectangle 2400 by 600 pixels, which will be your cover image. Design it so that it shows your niche, your brand message or ethos, or perhaps some of your products. Bear in mind that if someone looks at your RedBubble store from a mobile, they're only going to see the central section of that cover rectangle. Save it in PNG or JPEG format again. Now, you will need to think about your RedBubble store name next. This can be anything, but you are limited to just 15 characters and a minimum of 4. You cannot use spaces or special characters, so be really clever with using capitals and lowercase letters and use hyphens to separate words. Whilst it's technically possible to change your shop name at a later date, your URL will always be set as the first name that you use, and I really recommend getting it right first time. I learned this the hard way with my first RedBubble store. It often takes a long time for a name change to take effect. Now, RedBubble does not allow more than one shop with the same name, so think up several variations should your first choice already be taken. Later on, if necessary, do amend your cover image so that it displays the correct name. Next, you need to come up with a short bio. This needs to be 500 characters or less and gives your customers an opportunity to find out a little more about you and what it is that you do. And there we are. That's the first things you've got to prepare, and next we're going to go into RedBubble and input all of that. So lesson 2, setting up your RedBubble artist account. Now my affiliate link is down below and it's in the downloadable notes, but of course you can go straight to redbubble.com. In RedBubble, in the top right hand corner, click sign up, select artist sign up and add your email address and then the shop name that you'd like to use. Now, if you're keeping your merch purely private, just for your clients and yourself, this doesn't really matter. But if you are planning to even at some point in the future open your products and store for others to see, make sure it's something suitable that's going to work in the long run. I do not recommend using anything personal, such as your date of birth, for example. Now create a password. Your temporary dashboard will appear showing a number of steps that you're going to need to complete. Add your avatar, the small round thumbnail image of your logo or photo, and use that 300 by 300 pixel avatar we created using Canva or Alternative. Click on Account Settings, then Edit Profile in the lower section of the left-hand menu. Choose your avatar image and click Upload. Next, add your 2400 by 600 pixel cover image and click onto View Shop to see the finished look and tweak as necessary. On the same Edit Profile page, we want to add your bio next. Remember to save your changes as you go. And on your temporary dashboard, the only step in this section not crossed off will be to set your social media links. Click this and paste in your various links from your social media accounts, website, etc. and save. Getting paid. Now click to confirm your email in the right-hand box on your temporary dashboard. You will need to click on resend confirmation probably. It always seems to do this. And then head into your email inbox to confirm. Back in RedBubble, scroll down to add your personal details and edit payment details in the lower part of the menu. This is essential so that you can pay for anything that you want to buy, but also so you can receive your royalties for the sales you make. Choose the currency and whether you would prefer to be paid in PayPal or into your own bank account, and then add the details as required. By the way, if you buy your own products through RedBubble and do it through your account, the markup will automatically change down to 0, so you pay the lowest price available and therefore receive no royalties at all on those sales. You can have more than one RedBubble shop, but you do need a different email address for each one. See you in lesson 3. So lesson 3, uploading your first design. So now your artist account is set up and you can add your first design. Click on your profile icon, which by now should be your avatar. Click Add New Work and select Upload New Work on the left-hand side. So soon I'm going to be showing you how to add further designs in a fraction of the time it takes to do this one. Choose your design from your files. This will be your resized existing logo or other image, the square 4999 by 4999 or the rectangle that you just created using Canva or similar. Your image will appear in the box on the left. Underneath this box, you'll see that you can change the background color. If you would like the default background color on most of your products to be white, leave it at the Pantone color, hex color, hashtag FFF. But if you'd like to change it, simply click on it and select the background color that you prefer. Perhaps you could use one of your branding colors. Most of the products available have a further option to individually change the background color, but not all of them. Add your design's title, tags, and description. Again, if your designs are to remain private, just for your own use, you do not need to give this much attention. But if you're likely to open them up for sale, make them appealing and searchable using relevant keywords as detailed previously. You want to add at least 15 tags if you're openly selling and no more than the RedBubble limit of 50. Scroll down and you're going to see your design loading onto a gallery of product previews. Under each product image, you will see two boxes, Edit and Disabled Stroke Enabled. If there are any set to disabled, click them to enable them as required. Here's a tip. If you're openly selling your merchandise, I thoroughly recommend making every product enabled. Except maybe the jigsaw, unless you know your image is covering the whole thing. Otherwise it makes a very difficult jigsaw. Just because you don't like a certain product doesn't mean a potential customer won't. You can return to these products and enable or disable them at any time. Now on that first box, standard print clothing, click Edit. Another box will open up underneath. You are going to be unlikely to want to replace the image for this particular product. Next, you can see all the clothing styles available and choose whether you would like the design printed on the front or the back. Now, this is purely for the first image your potential customers will see. They can select to have the print on the front or the back themselves, actually. Select the colour that your image looks best against. This will be the setting RedBubble uses for the t-shirt, etc. mockups. Your design will be available to purchase on all the colours, regardless of which you choose here. So use the slider to change the size of your design image on the picture t-shirt. Make sure it's not too far or too close from the neck of the shirt. Remember, 4 fingers down from the collar. And all of the design is within the dotted lines. Generally, large prints look best in this position, 4 fingers. And small breast prints tend to go on the left. For every project you edit, always click the horizontal button to center it, unless you're deliberately intending to have the image off center, such as perhaps a small left breast logo. Now let's continue. To the left of the grid you are working in, you will see 2 small tabs. Select the lower one, which has a tick in a box. Here you can change your markup percentages for these specific products. And there are also 3 extra hidden items that you need to make available manually by clicking on the boxes. These are children's items, so do not select them if you are adding adult content. On further products, this tab has a settings cog picture instead of a tick, so bear that in mind. You can also change your markup percentages for all your products in the Account Settings tab. Now click the red Apply Changes panel. We're going to follow the same procedure with the rest of the products. They will have less options to amend than this first one that includes many product options. If you're already happy with the size of the image and the positioning on a product, you do not need to edit that one. You want to work your way through product by product. On some items, your design might look a bit lost. For these, you can choose to turn it into a pattern. Where this is available, you're going to see 3 small stars, for example, in the sleeveless tops. Click on Choose Pattern and you can select No Pattern, Regular Pattern Grid or Regular Grid or Offset Grid. Use the slider to reduce the size of your image and you will see the patterns start to appear. You'll also note that the chiffon top is the first product where you can change the background colour to a hex, a custom colour for that individual item only without altering any of the other products. This is because it's an all-over print product, AOP, except for the sleeves and collar on this particular product. Now when you reach mugs, use that image that you created with the replace image function to put your 2700 by 1120 pixel image in there to make sure it prints on both sides of the mugs. Now you're also going to spot that the hardcover journals have an extra option to choose pattern on front and back. If you select this, your design will be added to both the front and the back of the book cover. Do not be deterred by the products that are called advanced products. This section, just continue your way through it as you were doing. Now for the fitted masks in advanced products, I tend to either replace the image with the same design size as the mugs, so you end up with it on both sides of the mask, or just reduce the original one to fit on just the left or the right hand side of the mask. Ensure that the image does not extend over the edges of the cutout darts, or those areas are just going to be hidden when it's sewn up. And there we are. Now I'm going to show you in the next video how to finish off in your uploading. Lesson 4, finishing the upload. Once you're happy with the sizing and positioning of the design on all the products, check the tick boxes in the section at the bottom. The first of these is media. Now design and illustration covers most images, but otherwise pick your own. Collections. You can create collections in your account settings to help customers find your designs and products. You also have the facility to choose a featured collection, which will always appear at the top of your RedBubble store. This is something you can do at a later time if you prefer. Default product in your shop. Now choose which product you would like to showcase as your primary product. Usually I'd recommend the t-shirt, mug, mask or sticker, but really it's up to you. You can leave it as optimized, but don't be surprised when you're browsing through your RedBubble store and come across your least favorite product or the one that your design really does not suit. Every item that you enabled will be available. The default product in your shop selection is purely to pick which one is shown in the main product listing. Who can view this work? Now this is where you make it available openly for sale or have the option to keep it private. It's purely a RedBubble thing for your own use. This also means that you have the flexibility to have some designs public and some private. Is this mature content? If your products will not be suitable for children, you need to check this box. You can click to see the guidelines as to what RedBubble considers mature content. Selecting the mature content box will, of course, limit the visibility of the product if you're listing it publicly for sale. Finally, check the box to say that you have the right to use the artwork and then hit the red Save Work button. Your products will load. Allow up to 15 minutes before they'll be visible on your RedBubble shop, though you'll be able to edit them in Manage Portfolio immediately. Now, occasionally, you may see an error message at this point. If so, correct the errors and resave. Sometimes RedBubble may email you because they have noticed a design as being similar to an existing one, or possibly they consider it a trademark infringement. You will not need to do anything. They will conduct a quick review and then email you again to say all is fine and your design has now been loaded. Unless, of course, it is something that cannot be used. Click View to check over your products and see the standard RedBubble mockups. Now, these are automatically generated for you. Click Edit at the top to change anything that you would like to tweak. You'll notice an arrow at the top right-hand corner of each product mockup photo. You can use these to share them directly on the various social media, or alternatively, click on the 3 vertical dots underneath each product photo. You can then download images to share. You can also copy the link or view the product page. On the product page, you will see the price adjusted to account for the royalty percentage you chose or the default 20%, and reviews for the actual product itself. Protecting your work. You only need to do this once. It's extremely important to protect your designs. To do this, click on your avatar and in the account settings in Artist Tools, in the top half of the menu, select Protect Your Work. Check the last box, opting to place a tiled watermark across my images, and also tick for Download Protection. Pricing. Do this step only when you want to change your prices across the board. You don't need to do it on every upload. You can amend your royalty percentage across all products as well as individually whilst in each design. Are you planning to run advertisements to sell your products? If so, add a little into the price to cover the cost of advertising. To do it, select Product Pricing in the Artist Tools section of the menu. Here, you can set your markup across your whole shop if you're going to be openly selling your products. All products have a default markup of 20%, so you will still make some money from each sale even if you do not alter the percentages. You can also change the markup in each individual product as we previously discussed. Click on Markup on the right-hand side to change it. You will be able to opt to reset all your existing works to this new percentage, or just leave them as they are. Don't forget to click Save at the bottom, and on your temporary dashboard, the only bit not crossed out now is going to be on the left with Add Designs. So in the next module, we're going to be looking at how to add further designs. And then once you've done enough and all of those are ticked off, you will get a full permanent dashboard instead of that temporary one. So, if you found uploading your first design rather long-winded and time-consuming, then don't worry. You'll be pleased to know there is a quicker way to load further images. Important note, however, when creating your new design, use the same sizes as before, the 4999 by 4999, the 4500 by 5400, and the 2700 for mugs. Those are the widths. Click on Add New Work and choose the option on the right. You can also do this from Manage Portfolio. Now choose a design with the same image dimensions as your new work, and at the moment you're only going to have one design loaded, so click on the settings cog for this design and select Copy Settings. The duplicate will load. Click on the Replace All Images button and choose your new image from your files. Change the background colour if required. Edit the title, tags and description as required. Your image should now be positioned and sized on each product exactly as your original ones. Any that would change to a pattern will keep the same pattern format. Browse through your products and reposition or resize any as necessary. You can change from an individual design to a pattern or vice versa. You will need to use the Replace Image feature again for the mugs, if you did so before. If you'd like to duplicate one of your designs and keep the same image but a different background colour, follow the same process as this, but you will need to still click Replace All Images and then choose the same image as before. Then alter the default background colour as required. You will need to tick the box at the bottom again and press Save. In RedBubble, one area that you will visit regularly is Manage Portfolio. To get there, click on your avatar in the top right-hand corner. Scroll down and click on Manage Portfolio. At the top, you'll see tabs called Works and Collections. At the moment, we have no collections, but these are an excellent way to divide your designs up into niches or trends. Click on the small box in the left corner of any of your designs and you will notice that a panel opens up with a white box, a bin, collections, available on, default view, more, and then a search bar. You can toggle as many of your designs as you like by adding a tick to the small left-hand box on each. Then click on Collections and a drop-down menu will open. As you currently have no collections, you will need to add a new collection. Click on the bar and type in the name you would like it to have. Then click Add. A blue bar will tell you that your works have been added to that collection. While we're here, let's look at another feature on this bar, Available On. When you click on Available On, a drop-down will appear showing all the products that are available in the RedBubble platform, regardless of whether or not you've enabled them. Select one, then you will see that you can then enable or disable it for the toggled designs. Click on Enable and a new screen will open, showing that product only on the toggled designs, for example these aprons. Now we can edit them as we wish in the usual way. We can replace the image, add patterns, change the background colour, and move the designs around, change the markup, etc. Click Save under that product thumbnail once you are satisfied. At the top left in red, click on Return to Manage Portfolio. Now let's go to one specific design and click the Settings cog. The options that come up for this one are View, Edit, Copy Settings, Promote Products, Make Public, Set to Mature, Delete. But notice that I have set this design as private. You can tell by the little padlock under that cog. The first option, View, is pretty self-explanatory. You can see what your customers will see. The large RedBubble mockup, a smaller detail in the top left corner, and then your design in the bottom left corner. If you followed the protection procedures in Module 2, you will notice that the watermark is across your design. And that's obviously to prevent people from right-clicking and stealing your work. Here, you can copy the URL if you want to, so that you can share the product page. You can also see the various size or colour options depending on the product, and you can click on Size Guide with the choice of sizes in inches or centimetres. The reviews are for this actual product, not for your design. Of course, you wouldn't have any yet. Alongside the reviews are features of the product itself, and this too is provided by RedBubble. Then under that section will be more mock-up images, and the number of images depends very much on which product it is. Some of the RedBubble products only have 1 or 2 photographs. You or your customers can also scroll down further to find out what else you have on offer, and will have the opportunity to follow you too. Let's go back and continue down that list. Next is Edit, which takes us into the same screen as when you just uploaded your design. Go through and make any changes as required. Each time you edit, you will need to click the I have the rights box and then Save Work. Back in the drop down under the cog, the next one is Copy Settings, which you used to duplicate your design in Lesson 1 of this module. Promote Products is the page that comes up when you have just saved your uploaded design. This is where you can click on that curvy arrow in the top right of the product thumbnail to share directly onto Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr or pin on Pinterest. Though I tend myself to use the next step more often. I click on the 3 vertical dots under the thumbnail where you can then download the images. These are mock-ups generated by RedBubble themselves, and while they're perfectly usable, do remember that everyone who has uploaded to RedBubble has access to exactly the same mock-ups. So for sharing outside of RedBubble, I'd absolutely recommend creating more interesting ones, which we're going to cover in Module 4. You can also copy the link that takes you straight to this product with this design's sales page. Or you can again view product page. So back in Manage Portfolio, the next line down is Make Public. If this design was already public, it would offer me the option to make it private. But also, as you can see in this public design next to it, there is an additional step in the public ones where you can opt to promote the artwork too. It will, of course, have the watermark across it as before. And there is the option to favourite it or share it from this page too. Next, you can set it to mature if you've had a change of mind and decided that actually this piece is strictly for adults only. Do note, you can always access Manage Portfolio from your avatar. Lesson 3, royalties. So as we've already discussed, you can decide how much you want to earn by setting your own prices. A word of warning though, do not select them ridiculously high if you're hoping to make sales globally. Sure, it's fine if you're planning to sell only to your own niche audience and be sharing the links to your products directly, but imagine the scenario that you have put, say, a first day at school design on for parents anywhere to buy a child's t-shirt ready for their son or daughter's big day. So you send your friends and family to your RedBubble shop, but then they notice that someone else has put a similar t-shirt as the one they were going to buy from you on, but it's on at a lower price. And while they might not love it as much as the one that you've uploaded, they do love a bargain and can't help themselves. It's a balancing act. Something else to bear in mind, yes, it's nice to make all your prices end in 99p or 50p, but on RedBubble it's a real headache doing that. For a start, often you'll be setting prices for not just one item, but several that are all in the same category on the price editing page. Secondly, remember that the US is the biggest market, so while you carefully make the prices perfectly consistent across your store for the currency you're in, around the world they're going to see your prices adjusted to their own currencies. So even if you set it for US dollars, the GB pounds are going to be affected. So don't waste your time. Also, a word re luxury pricing. Big well-known brands such as the designer ones charge lovely big round numbers. There is a view that smaller, lower priced items that try to charge round numbers come across as amateurish rather than elevating them to designer status. Now, whether you agree with this point of view or not, it appears to be the general consensus. So again, it's not worth the pain of trying to make all your products in nice round numbers. Now, on to the rather juicier subject of royalties. RedBubble pays out royalties every month, around the 15th of the month. If your royalties do not reach the RedBubble £20 or €20 or dollars threshold, RedBubble will carry them over to the following month. Now, if by December your royalties still haven't reached that £20, dollars, euro threshold, you're going to be paid out regardless, as long as they are over £2 in total. Hopefully there will be. When you purchase from your own RedBubble account, royalties are automatically removed. So that means you pay the base price. So if you're using the platform solely for your own branded merch and buying it in yourself, you will be unlikely to be due any royalties. Unlike some other print-on-demand providers, platforms such as RedBubble take their payment for production and shipping, the base price, the 0% markup price, and the royalties you receive are the remainder. Now, this means that you're never going to be in the situation where a customer makes a purchase and the price they pay fails to cover the cost of production and shipping. This is one of the fundamental benefits of using RedBubble and similar POD platforms. Also, once your design is uploaded, remember there is no further maintenance required. So from that point of view, it becomes a source of passive income, or I like to call it an ACPIS, an almost completely passive income stream. So let's just have a recap about how to set your prices. click your avatar, click Account Settings, scroll down to Product Pricing in the Artist Tools section on the left-hand menu. On the markup column, set it to your desired royalty percentage. Once you've added a figure, you'll see the words Apply to All pop up under the box you've just changed. Now, if you'd like all of your product markups to change to this percentage, then click on the words. If not, scroll through and change just the ones you'd like to. Do note, stickers sell incredibly well on RedBubble and command a higher markup. Generally, I set mine to between 75% and 100%. If you'd like these new markups and therefore prices to apply to all your existing designs, tick the box at the bottom. If you'd only like it to apply to work going forward, then leave it unticked. Click the red Save New Default Markups button at the bottom. So, RedBubble fees. I received an email this morning, 20th of April 2023, to say that RedBubble is starting to charge fees from May the 1st. And panic set in. I have a lot of RedBubble accounts. I show people how to do print on demand, why they should do it, and everything else on RedBubble, as well as other platforms. But RedBubble is such a great all-rounder. So why wouldn't I show them on RedBubble, right? Well, this could be why I might swap over to another one instead as my starter one. Anyway, aside from that, what is this all about? Well, the good news, there is some, is relatively that they're not going to be charging us a flat fee every month for having the account. That's not how it's going to work. It's going to be on royalties, on income received from them, which means you are never going to be out of pocket in the sense that you are never going to be paying a fee like $20 or whatever, or 20 quid every month, and then might not make sales to cover that. So as soon as you make $1.99, whether that's dollars or pounds or whatever, of income in the currency that you're in on RedBubble, of income, they will start charging you. And it's quite hefty, the fees. Then some of them, it starts to get up to like around sort of 40% by the look of it. It's a sliding scale, and you can see it. It's all there in RedBubble. I'll put some links in below. Wow. So why are they doing it? Well, the reason behind it, they say, is because it's grown, it's got really big, and they need some more money, basically. They need money to invest. They need money to sustain this growth. Okay. Now, I don't know about you, but I find RedBubble royalties are quite low compared to the price of the products anyway. So I feel like they're already taking a fair whack. But let's see what happens. Let's see if other print-on-demand platforms follow. Are TeePublic going to follow? So here we are. We've got three. We've got standard, premium, and pro. Pro, you get everything. Premium a little bit in the middle, and standard here. Unfortunately, what they're not doing is telling us how you get from one to the next. It says it's based on, and it's a mixture of, so there's no defining points, of sales, activity, likes and things like that, so fans, things like that, the amount you're putting on, the quality of them. I mean, it's also fluid. How are we supposed to know, right? Also, this very top tier, this RedBubble Pro, the real all singing, all dancing one, they're only going to put people up to that once a year. So if you're stuck in premium and you can't move up to pro. Now, one thing though, premium and pro are free. You don't have to pay any of these fees anymore. It's only on standard. But how do we know how to even get from standard to premium? Hopefully they're going to be a bit more transparent. I hate to say that, but a bit more transparent and clear the new buzzwords, as to how to do this. But at the moment, it all seems a little vague to me. The other thing that's really annoying is we're not going to get advance notice of sales dates if we're on standard. Now, I've got a lot of stuff on RedBubble. Let's go back to me. I've got a lot of stuff on RedBubble, but what I have done, and what I often encourage my students to do as well, is I've got separate stores set up because RedBubble say, oh, you can have as many stores as you like. Brilliant. So we've all got lots of stores set up and they're in different niches so that they're called something to do with what they are. Like if it's dogs that are a bit windy, for example, or slogan, very basic slogans or sarcastic wit, etc., etc., etc. So we've been encouraged to do all these separate stores for our separate niches, which means all of those are likely to still be in the standard category. So now it makes more sense to bring it all together and have them in separate sections within all one shop. And then we're much more likely to get put up to premium. But the downside of that is RedBubble are notorious for, if you put a foot wrong, getting rid of your account. And you can apply, if you apply enough, you could get it reviewed and reinstated. But that's a lot of work and it's a lot of risk. And you're very vulnerable if everything is in one place, all your eggs in one basket. So it's going to be interesting to see how this pans out. It's going to be interesting to see the response of the other platforms, the other players in print on demand. For me, it really makes me think that the other ways to do it, the having it go through your own website using integrations like Printful and things like that, they're more secure, aren't they? Or Etsy, Printful to Etsy, Printify, etc. Okay, so lots and lots of questions. It's going to be a very interesting time, let's say. So benefits, though. There must be some. One of the benefits, beyond all this investment they're promising us, one of the benefits will be it might stop people entering the market that might not have bothered. People who don't really want to do this, it might hold them back. It might mean the pond isn't so big and it's got such a low barrier to entry with RedBubble. You just literally apply and get going. It's not like apply. You literally fill out a form and get going. It's not like Merch on Demand, Amazon Merch on Demand, where you have to apply and then get approved. So maybe that will put a few people off and that will mean there's ultimately less competition. But RedBubble is so big and so vast. There's already so much competition on there. I think that might be negligible anyway. So I'll leave you with that. Interested to see what's going to come, what's going to happen. For me and my training courses, I think we're going to go possibly over to some of the others. We'll see. Anyway, thank you for watching, and do share, and let's have your likes, your subscriptions and everything. See you soon. So, mockups. Now, you'll have seen that RedBubble have their own mockups featured on every store. So each product is shown with your design applied, giving customers the opportunity to see exactly how the finished item is going to look. By limiting the mockups to their own, RedBubble maintains a level playing field across all its sellers. However, if you're going to showcase your merchandise on social media, in your own newsletters or run ads perhaps, you can create more appealing mockups for your own use. I thoroughly recommend using placeit.net for this, as they have a huge range of still images and videos, and it's extremely user-friendly. I do provide my affiliate link below, but as usual, it's completely up to you, and as usual, there is a free option too. It's very limited, or you can opt to pay per mockup each time you use one. But if you're only going to need a few mockups, I would suggest signing up for a short period, creating as many mock-ups as you need, then stopping your subscription. It's a bit cheeky, but if you're planning, however, to continue adding designs, the monthly cost of Placeit is $14.95, or you can reduce that by 50%, paying $89.69 annually. Those are the prices at the moment. By using their mockup generator, you can choose highly relevant images, such as of a woman doing yoga perhaps, or a man with a dog, something like that. It really helps potential customers to see how buying your product will benefit them. Now, Placeit has mock-up images for clothing, mugs, home decor, phone cases, and many more items. But for some of the more obscure products, you might decide to purchase your own from RedBubble, and then you can take your own photos and videos of them. So generally, you're only going to need to do mock-ups for a few of your products to give your audience an idea. So, mock-ups. How to add an image using Placeit, and we'll start with photos. Type the blank product you're looking for in the search bar or hover over the menus. On the left-hand side, you're going to see that you can select a variety of filters, including sex, age, and scenarios. Sometimes they come at the top too. Browse the photos of the models. You're going to be able to see the editable areas on the products. If you scroll through the pages to the higher numbers, you are going to be offered options that most people don't bother looking for. This is going to help you to find mock-ups that are not used as frequently by other sellers. If you find a model who particularly fits your criteria, your requirements, scroll down to see if there are any other photos or videos that they feature in. And once you've decided upon a mock-up photo, click on it to select it. Then click on the blue box on the left to add image or insert design. Simply upload your design. On most of the mock-ups, you can also change the colour of the product itself by selecting a colour from the right-hand side. You can click on More to be able to type in your hex code for your own branding colours, and use the crop function to resize and reposition your image or text-based design. Keep checking it to make sure it looks as close to your RedBubble product as possible. You want to give your audience a true representation of how this product is going to look. On many of the mock-ups, you can also change the background colours or other items in the image too. This is a great way to bring in your own brand colours and make it a cohesive effect. When you're happy with the mock-up, click on download. You can often also add text or your logo as an extra overlay. So let's move on to mock-up videos now. You can use the same principles to create mock-up videos in Placeit. The easiest way to find them is to type, for example, t-shirt mock-up video in the search bar. Again, you can use filters to find specific genders, ethnicity, age, hobbies, etc. Videos do take a little longer to load, so don't worry if it seems really slow. Now, once you have your video, you can click on the plus at the bottom to add further slides. And this is a really good way to link together different colorways of the same product, or perhaps the same design on different products. You can add music to your videos too. Browse the various tracks and then click select when you find one that really suits the video. Download as before. I usually make a version of my mock-up videos without music, and then I do another one with music. This gives you so much flexibility when sharing on social media, your website, etc., and using them in ads. Alternatives to place it include Lock and Page, www.lockandpage.com, and on Etsy, if you do a search for mockups, you should be able to find some nice unique ones too. So here's our video. It's 10 seconds long of Our Lady Without Any Sound. So I would download this and call it Without Sound. But let's do another one now with audio, and this is how. Add audio, and as you can see, all of these different samples come up. We've got genres down here, which means that we can pick the mood. So let's have a look at this one. Now, I want to bear in mind, I've only got 10 seconds, so I don't want something that's really slow at the beginning. So you can see the tempo here. So if it starts off very, very slowly, I wouldn't want that one. But this one's really good. So I'm just going to click select, and it's added it to it. And I'm going to now hear it and watch it. So by clicking that arrow, it prepares it, puts everything in. And where it says there are 5 users ahead of me, don't worry about that. It just means place it's busy, and it won't take long at all. There she is, with all her happy music. So then I download that one as well. So here we are at the finale. Now, if you've got 5 or more designs on, your dashboard will no longer be the beginner's one, and now you're going to have this permanent full dashboard. This is how it looks. So if you've yet to add 5 designs, some of the following will make more sense to you once you have, but do keep watching so you can see what's coming. Now, you're also going to have the full set of menu options down here on the left. While you've been ticking off the to-dos on your temporary dash, RedBubble have been adding these extra functions to your menu. There are 1 or 2 areas here that could be useful to you, so we're going to quickly look at each. First, to get to this area, you simply select your avatar and click on Dashboard. Your full menu is now split into 2 sections, Artist Tools and Account Settings. In Artist Tools, this area, Dashboard, is where you're going to find all the useful updates about your sales and your store. You can copy the link from here. And this link is a really short and simple one, so it's great for sharing. It also is tracked, so it's going to feed data back to your RedBubble account so you can see where your audience is coming from. Next, that is this Add New Work button, and of course we've already covered that. And under that is tips. Now these tips are really handy just to have a read through, all kinds of things. Whenever RedBubble have something new, they'll pop it on here. And then underneath there we have earnings. Now the earnings for your current month are listed here. Obviously we don't have any as yet. And you can click on the red arrow to see more details. And these are listed by time. So now your insights is all the data for your store. It's earnings, earnings by artwork and product and audience traffic sources. So earlier on when I said about things being tracked, this is where it'll get fed to. If you scroll back up now, and let's have a look in Activity Feed. So as you can see, it's empty at the moment. That's because your shop is brand new. So once you start sharing it, it's not going to stay like that for long. Let's move into shop settings. And here you can have a featured collection. And this is where you can choose one of your collections to be featured at the top of your listings. It's a great place to showcase your favorite niche or top sellers, or to change it regularly so that you can rotate your feature designs and get everything seen. You can also manage your collections from here as well. So the collection we put on was Wildy Birds, and so I could choose that one if I wanted to, and it would be at the top of my shop. So let's go down. Share your work. This is going to take you directly to product images for sharing, but you can be more selective by going through Manage Portfolio as we did before instead. And you can also click on here on the red part to do that. But you can see, you can just arrow through. Now, if you scroll down a little further, you're going to see that there's lifestyle templates. And yes, these are mock-ups, and yes, they're some beautiful images, but while they are giving you more options, remember that everybody on the RedBubble platform does still have access to the same ones. Also, the files are only suitable for editing on Photoshop, which, if you don't have Photoshop, means you can't use them. And some of them are just perhaps a little terrifying. Maybe it's because I'm filming this while Halloween's coming up, I don't know. But this one is a Christmas one, and that's quite scary. So, not sure. I think we'll stick with Place It. But it's very simple to do if you've got Photoshop. So next we're going to look down to Protect Your Work and Product Pricing. Now we've covered both of these already. This is exactly the same as we covered in the previous modules. Google Analytics is a way to further track, and if you already have a Google Analytics account, you can link it here. If you don't, you're going to need to sign up for one. It takes you through all of that, and there's Google Help articles as well. Sales history. Now this lists your sales by time, as we went to from the dashboard. So once you do, you'll be able to see your most recent sales and going back in time. Payment history, the same but with payments. Now it's a breakdown of your earnings to be paid, any that are pending and any that are cancelled. So ones that are pending will be ones that are in the process of being fulfilled. So it's when the order's only just arrived, the customer's only just placed their order, and it's going through the fulfillment stages. And then once they're fulfilled, it moves into earnings to be paid. Message to buyer. This is a really cool one. It's a nifty way to give your customers an added extra, a little personal message from you to thank them for your purchase. What you do is you type this in and it goes on every order you send out. Okay, it's every time you sell. And it has a maximum of 160 characters, so make sure it's nice and short. Finally on here we have a link to other sites. Now here, add your social media links. You simply copy and paste them and your link to your website too. And then they will show up on your RedBubble store. But interestingly, if you scroll down here, you can also show off your work on your own website. It's quite simple to do. You just pop in the number of rows and columns that you would like, and then you copy this script, right click copy, and then you embed it, paste it into your website where you'd like it to appear. You can also do this in a blog. Now, if you're going to if you would like a full merch store on your website where you've got a lot more options and a lot more control rather than just sort of this section, I would recommend Launchcart, and that is another one of the courses that Brandon and Cover do. So I'm not obviously going to go into that all here, but this embedding this script here will mean you can link this straight onto your website or blog. Now, let's go back to the dashboard, back up here, and the second half is account settings. Now these we all covered, so you can go in and edit any of the things that you did before when we were in Module 2, Lesson 2. You can change your password and you can cancel your account.